of 2:07. I'm hearing it was quite a windy day, so maybe that 2:07 didn't do him justice, and he's heading for a big personal best here today. We think the winning time at 40k, the split for, by the way, for Melak, was equivalent to almost exactly 2:04. If he can just hold it together through the last couple of kilometres here, Melak, and he's still looking strong, Paula, he could go below 2:04.
I think he definitely appears, there we go, 41 kilometres, so just slightly over a kilometre left to run in this race, and for sure he's going to run that sub 3:30 pace, so he is challenging that mark and operating strongly. I don't think he's lost much in terms of how strong he appears to be holding himself together, his cadence, his form. He's maintaining it really, really well, and that is the hardest thing to do over these closing stages of the marathon. You're in the final kilometre, everything in your body is screaming to kind of go in different directions, and you need to be able to maintain your form, maintain your focus, and keep working hard towards that finish line, which seems to be moving further and further away.
Well, this has been a textbook execution of how to run your debut marathon. A great career at 10,000 metres and half marathon. At 26, moves up to the marathon and destroys one of the strongest fields in the world that we'll see this year here in Dubai 2025. Absolutely brilliant from Melak. I don't think his win is in doubt.
No, as we go back to the battle in the women's race, and here there is some doubt as to who will come out the victor in this race. They are locked in battle, very little to choose between them. Their pace is slowed slightly, we see, through that 36th kilometre. Perhaps a little bit of a gathering for the final surge, because in contrast to the men's race, these two women have a race to win yet, and they have to play their cards right. Fanti Werku holding on to that third position and running strongly.
Yeah, Fanti Werku dropped by that leading pair, but she has got a pacemaker there of her own through the figure of Aman Herpo Tufa. He was one of the pacemakers for that lead group of the women, and in a way this puts my mind at rest a bit, because if she was having to work on her own here and the leading pair are pushing away up the road, when you see that so often in races where women who have been dropped from the main pack or from the lead group in the latter stages don't get any help, at least she has got some help here to help her along. But then again, you know, there'll be 2 or 3 women behind her stretched back down the road who haven't got pacemakers.
Exactly.
So you can make a really strong case for saying from 35k, say, even if as late as that, pacemakers in the women's races should drop out.
And Werku will be aware of the fact that although she isn't still challenging for the win, she is still within a shot of beating her personal best time, and that will be motivating her at the moment. That stands at 2:21.57 in those warm conditions in Berlin.
Melak to write a picture, almost on the home straight now. He can taste victory, he can smell the finish line, so to speak. We are on the, it is on the parade ground of the Dubai Police Academy. He's within the grounds now, 2:03 on the clock. He's coming towards the finish. That's the penultimate turn he makes. He's got a right-hand turn, sorry, it's the third to last turn. He's got a right-hand turn to make now, and then a left-hand turn into the finishing straight, which is 80 metres long. He looks magnificent. He's staying calm, he's not sprinting, and look at this. I was on this a couple of days ago, 2:03 on the clock. Is he going to break 2:04? He's got a left-hand turn to make here now. He can see the finish line. Here he comes. The crowd roar him home. This has been a magnificent debut from this young man. He strides towards the line, sprints to break the tape, and breaks the 2:04 barrier as well. That is quite fantastic. The fastest time in the world this year. It's only the 1st of February, but that is going to take some beating, believe me. I reckon that was about 2:03.57, something like that. Now he can lie down, now he can look tired, but every step over the last 2 hours plus, he has looked like royalty. Quite magnificent here in Dubai, and the Ethiopian crowds, hundreds of them spectating here at the finish, are celebrating a magnificent victory there from a new star in the world of marathon racing.
He has found his distance, hasn't he? And well done, Nibret Melak. In the end, he did go through that 2:04 barrier and actually rattled a little bit the championship record of Nibret Melak back from 2019. That was 2:03.34. So Perhaps had he known he was as close to that, could he have found a little bit more in those closing stages? He had the race wrapped up. He had a personal best for sure, seeing as he was making a debut. And now look at this. The battle, very tiring. Hadji. Now what has happened to Segu, who was in third position? Has he passed Hadji?
No, I think this is Hadji coming in second place. Hadji was in second place, wasn't he?
Yes, he was, but he was visibly tiring.
Well, he's got a gap. Maybe Segu, who's wearing number 2, has got his own problems. There's no sight of him yet, as Yasin Hadji Hayato is in the home, finishing straight. And here, in fact, is Akizin Mana. I think he's in third place, so has something befallen Berahanu Wendimu Segu, as here comes the man in second place, Yasin Hadji Hayato, a 2:07 performer before today, but this I think is going to be a magnificent run for him, and it's going to be a personal best as he crosses the line in second place by almost exactly 2 minutes. A fantastic run from Hadji, and that is a run, a really strong run too from Hakizin Mana of Rwanda. He was a 2:08 performer before today, and he's just come home in about 2:06.02 unofficially, something like that, very, very close to the 2:06 barrier. He has just taken the Rwandan something like 2 hours 15 seconds off his lifetime best. A brilliant run from him has come through for third place. And here is the battle for the minor places as some of the other men come through the Police Academy grounds. Ayana battling away here, and Ayana Gizelo Abeje Hayana, he's a 2:07 performer. He too against Fantahun. Fantahun, the taller of the pair, gets to the line first. I think they're 5th and 6th, but they both run big personal bests. Goodness me, what a day. They have taken advantage of the great pace making and the wonderful conditions here. And the 2:07 just clicks by on the clock, and I think we've got 7 or 8 home.
We have, and we've seen some huge personal bests. Mololin Fantahun there has just knocked about 7 minutes off his personal best. That stood at just under 2:12.
That's insane.
Coming into this race, so he has smashed that and committed to the race as well. Contrast that to Ayana, who came through a little bit later. He's taken a minute or so off his personal best. I think we will have perhaps a record for the number of personal bests set here today. We did talk about the fact that conditions were conducive to those good times today, and it's good to see that Ethiopian support squad out in strength as always here in Dubai. Hear them chanting long before the runners approach the finish line and celebrating another Ethiopian victory and a stunning debut from Nibret Melak.
But that initial fatigue after crossing the line has gone. Here is the form of Nibret Melak. Ethiopia have done it again. Dubai has done it again. It has unearthed a massive talent in this young man. He's only 26 years old. His debut here today was a stunning victory for him. Former track star, former half marathon star, now the fastest man in the world this year in the marathon. And I wonder where he'll be in a few months' time when more races have clicked through, when the Bostons and Paris and Londons and Rotterdams have come by in April. He might still be at the top of the rankings. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be in demand because there's more in the tank, Paul. I mean, he looked fantastic. He looked like he's got another couple of minutes in the tank.
He did. Hachi looked as though he was working extremely hard, but you have to say hats off to him for holding it together as he did, because he was visibly struggling over that last couple of kilometers, extremely tired crossing the line. And a little bit of that is the fact that when you win the race you get a little bit of extra bonus energy, don't you? So no matter how tired you are, it always feels a little bit better to be that first across the line. But Melak did a much better job at holding his form together and really raising the pace gradually that final 10 kilometers and coming out on top.
$80,000 for the winners here today, $40,000 US for second and $20,000 for third. The total prize purse is over $330,000 for the men's and women's races. Same prize money, of course, for the men and women. Big hugs and support here, all being lifted aloft for Nibret Melak. This, by far, the biggest win of his career. And this is a man who's won the All-Africa Games 10,000. He's won the African Championships at 10,000 metres.
Move. It has been decisive in this race, and she has eked out a lead, not yet a winning lead, but certainly a lead that appears to be growing over Mulia Dekebo behind her, who is operating in significant personal best territory, her personal best in those 225 range, and she is now operating close to 218 if they have maintained the improvements in pace that they were putting on, or indeed if they steadied, they're still around that 218 and a half. Indeed, there is the 41 kilometre marker passed, so inside the last 1.2 kilometres of this race for Anchinalu Dessie.
Yeah, well, we said about 15-20 minutes ago she was looking really good, tucked in behind her main rival, Dekebo, and so it would seem to be the case. She has kicked in here with about 10 minutes to go and has eased away from Dekebo, and here is the battle for the minor places, and there's challenges going on for athletes. Is that in fact Dekebo she's catching there? Wow.
No, I think this is a
replay
back
of what
happened. So this is obviously the 40k drinks marker, drinks position table, and Dekebo has tried to take on fluids, and it's her body rebelling because she is operating in that territory where every part of your body is rebelling, and that's why you saw the fluids coming back up. She hasn't given up though, she is rallying. Dessie took advantage of that weakness there as she was noticeably struggling to push on and eke out this gap. Has that really grown? It appears to be maintaining, and there can be what, about 500-600 meters of this race left perhaps at this point.
Well, she hasn't got the race won yet. There is chasing going on, but Dekebo here with 2:15 on the clock surely is going to break 2:20. This is going to be a personal best for Dessie here, rather, by about 3 minutes, maybe more. It's only her third marathon. She's been a half marathon specialist for the last 3 years. She's run so consistently a half marathon. 3 times she's run in the 67s, 3 times in the 68s, 4 times in the 69s. Fabulously consistent as a half marathon racer. Last year she won Seville, and then she won in Beijing, and this is going to be another win. And Paula, a 100% record of victories after 3 marathons under your belt. That is very rare indeed, and you know, joining the sub 220 club by a big chunk, barring disaster in these next couple of minutes. Again, we're seeing, while it's not her debut, we're seeing Dubai here today discovering another massive talent.
And I think she's underlined her potential moving forward by the manner of her victory as well. She kept it moving in the early stages, was right up the front of that pack, and then settled back, didn't make any big moves until the decisive one, when she was able to take advantage, when she saw weakness in her rival, push on and forge ahead, and is now forging further ahead as she senses that finish line growing ever closer, a little bit more of a spring in her step, and Dekebo sticking well to that task because she's come through that bad patch and handled it really, really well.
Well, last year in the women's race, the Ethiopians filled the places from 1st through to 16th. And yet again today they're going to have the top places on the rostrum, of course. But Anchinalu Dessie with Dekebo in the background there, the foreshortening effect is somewhat, it fools you a little bit. The gap is fairly big between these two. I don't think Dessie's victory is under threat here, but it is going to be a massive breakthrough for her. She's punched through the 220 barrier, still looking bouncy, still looking strong, as she negotiates these last 2 or 3 turns in the police academy here, and she's got about 100, maybe 200 meters to go. Dessie here still got targets. Will she finish as strongly as did Melak to take that men's title? There is the second place at Dekebo, who is herself heading for a massive personal, but she will knock about 7 minutes off her best. Dessie here, Anchinalu Dessie, the 23-year-old, she's still a youngster. She's going to knock about 4 minutes off her lifetime best as she roars towards the finish line here. It's going to be a magnificent win for this young woman. Yet again, her third marathon, her third victory here at the 2026 Dubai Marathon. 2:18:32 unofficially. A massive time, the fastest in the world this year by some 3 minutes or so, overtaking the winning time in Doha of Gizahen, 2:21:14. It's a Ethiopian double once more in Dubai, but Paula, wow, what a day at the races for these relatively new names in the world of marathon racing. Melak, a debutant, wins the men's, and Anchinalu Dessie, a third consecutive victory for her at the marathon distance. And Worku, I think coming home there, is that for third place. Decabo we didn't see coming across the line. The pre-race favourite, Fantu Worku, but she too runs a massive personal best, down around 2:19.10.
Yeah, so that's almost, well, 3 minutes almost that she's taken off her personal best. We did mention that was run in the heat of Tokyo where she had struggled, but she was dropped fairly early on in the closing stages of this race and stuck to her task really, really well, obviously knowing that she was on track still for a strong race and a personal best, and extremely impressive racing from Anchinalu Dessie. I think really a lot more to come from this woman when she has the courage to perhaps go out a little bit quicker, because she had a lot left in those closing stages. Race that race to win it rather than searching for a time, I think.
Well, 2:18.31, the unofficial winning time there. She's a former track star. She's a fabulous athlete. Is Dessie, half marathon specialist years gone by. Served her apprenticeship at the lower distances, and as she said, she feels really ready for a good run here today, and indeed she does just that. Having won in Seville last year and Beijing, she racks up another victory. And times, I suppose, Paula, less important than winning. You know, if you look at the purity of the sport, you say, no, win your races, win your events, the times will come. But when you win in a super fast time as well, a massive personal best, it's the full set, isn't it?
It is, and that's why perhaps if you're to choose between the two victories today, Melak's is that tiny bit more impressive, because on his debut he had the bravery to push on from 32 kilometers, to know that he had more left in him, and to go in search of that fast time on his debut does indicate he has more to come in the future. But as I said, very wise racing from Anchinalu Dessie, who did what she needed to do to come away with the victory, and was rewarded with a big personal best too.
Well, it does prove that when conditions are perfect, the athletes will deliver. Race director Peter Connaughton has got to be incredibly happy with his two winners today. The fast times too. Many men getting a long way under 2:10. Several women, I lost count, I don't know how many, but at least 3, I think, getting under 2:20 in the women's race, and that is still a very significant barrier in the world of women's marathon running, even though the world record now is supposed to be below 2:10, but of course Nibret getting busted after that time in Boston back in 2024. Here is Dessie's winning form. Kip Kemboy there having a tough day at the races, being beaten by the women's winner. Focused, absolutely focused all the way to the line. Never run any track, but we know she's got good speed, a really good 10k in Valencia a couple of years back, and keeping very how should we say, controlled there, keeping the emotions.
Yeah, I think they came out in the closing strides as she crossed the line, but maintaining that focus and also looking very composed down that home straight, almost reminiscent of, I know it was Worku who's spoken about her idol Doratu Tulu, but she would stay extremely relaxed and composed even when she was really struggling inside, and Dessie was able to do that, giving nothing away to her rivals.
When she realises the interview is over, I think it was a bigger smile than when she crossed the line. But she's got to get used to being interviewed because she keeps winning. This is Worku, the pre-race favourite. Now, did she finish in third place, I think, Worku? She's working hard, but again, a massive personal best for her. Several women under 2:20 today, and some consolation there. If you're not going to win, then running faster than you've ever run before is quite some way of giving yourself consolation.
Definitely, and she stuck to her task, perhaps knowing, I think, that she was as close as she was to that personal best.
Well, the sun is up. There is still no wind. Look at those flags top right of your picture. It's absolutely a glorious morning here in Dubai. It's still only not even 8:15 local time here. Now we can have a look. There is the result of that women's 25th edition of the Dubai Marathon. What a race it was. The Ethiopians, of course, dominating. Anchinalu Dessie, 2:18.31, the best of all of them. Decabo, fabulous too. Worku, 2:19.08. The first 3 going under 2:20. Plenty of personal bests there, I have to say, but Dessie a class apart today. Decabo having stomach problems in the last few hundred metres, and Paula, it's a rather intimidating almost for the rest of the world, isn't it, when you see that strength in depth of the Ethiopians. Confirmation of the win for Nibret Melak, 2:04. Well, I'm surprised at that. I thought he got well under 2 hours 4 minutes today, but maybe that is the correct time. Yasin Haji, 2:05.52. Look at that, the first 6 men under 2:07 here today. A national record for John Hakizimana of Rwanda, 2:06.04, a fabulous third place for him. But Melak was a class apart, winning by almost 2 minutes. That is stunning.
It was all done over that final 10 kilometres with that brave attack just around about the 32 kilometre mark.
Nibret Melak, I wonder what this year holds for him. He'll be tempted, I'm sure, by offers to do the big races coming up in London and Boston and so on. Maybe he'll wait until the quick races of the autumn period, the Berlins and Amsterdams of this world, where, of course, quick times, quick courses are beckoning like today. But to win by 1 minute 52 seconds on your debut is quite astonishing. That was a rare victory. The quality of the victory. Well, I do hope you enjoyed these elite races half as much as we have. The Ethiopians, of course, and there are tens of thousands of them here in UAE. They come here for the work, for the employment, but they also enjoy themselves. And boy, oh boy, they're enjoying themselves here this morning on the grounds of the police academy, the parade ground of the Dubai Police Academy. And there has to be a shout out too for the Dubai Sports Council, who have supported this race so well over the years, celebrating their 20th anniversary. Just recently, their strategic plan to increase participation here in the UAE in sport for the locals as well as the expats, the foreign workers who come in, is an ambitious one. And you have to be ambitious in this world. Dubai itself is an ambitious place, isn't it, Paula? Every year we come back, there are more gleaming towers poking up into the sky. Our hotel, the Seal, is the tallest hotel in the world. It's been a magnificent venue for us these last few days and for these athletes. And I think we're going to see some celebration tonight.
I think we will, I'm sure we will. And just to underline, again, it's a city and a race that has grown so much over the previous years, and I want to wish the very best of luck to everybody still out there taking part, be it in the 10k that's about to get underway, the 4 kilometres, or in the mass marathon. Be inspired by the outstanding performance of this man, Nibret Melak, and congratulations to him on a stunning debut.
Well, you can only make one debut, so you'd better get it right, and boy oh boy did he get it right today. That unofficial winning time, well, the official winning time is 2 hours and 4 minutes. I could have sworn he went well under 2 hours 4 minutes here today, but clearly the timing system knows best. Melak there, I think, less tired so much as in shock when he crossed the line and was rolling around on the ground there. Here's the women's winner and her form. She had targets even in the last few dozen metres to catch, and she caught Kemboy there, one of the male elites. That's how fast she ran here today. 2:18.31 her winning time. Absolutely brilliant from her. A massive chunk knocked off her lifetime best here today. Something like almost 4 minutes from her personal best. A very, very special day indeed, and her third marathon, a third consecutive victory.
Outstanding racing and more to come, I think, from many of the athletes that we've seen today, and a great start to 2026 for them.